Welcome to Teeks to Time. Your learning starts here. This is not a live. We usually have weekly lives, but our internet went down this week, so I'm making a video instead. So feel free to join the community, ask any questions in the comments, ask anything you like. Doesn't have to be on Affinity. I will try and find the answer for the following week. I think that's everything. Yeah, you can join the free community and ask questions, etc. on the live. For the live, the next live. Anyways, let's get started. We're gonna go with question 1, which was from Nikki, and this is about the snapping tool. She knows what it is, what it means, but it doesn't always work, etc. So let's try and fix that for you. So snapping's a funny one. This is, let's go to where. So this is where the snapping tool is, which is this thing on the top right, just here. And you can enable it and disable it just by turning it grey or dark grey. You can edit the settings of this by clicking the little binary just there, then going into snapping options. As you can see, there's many options which we'll go through now. If you put too many of these on, it will get confusing, and that's probably why it feels like it's not working sometimes. So what else do we need to know? Let's go into the colours first. So green is the vertical snapping line, red is the horizontal snapping line, and there's a few others like yellow nose, touching, etc., which I'll show you in a sec. So let's try and make that happen. Let's grab this rectangle. This yellow. And we'll use snapping. As you can see, there's green when it's yellow, when it's vertical, and red when it's horizontal. You can put it right in the middle there by making both. But as you can see, it's snapping to other things, and that's because I've got other things turned on right now. The other color is this one down here, which is the notes. And when they snap together, you'll see that it goes yellow, like so. Just when they touch, yellow. So that is the colors. There's a few different colors extra, but those are the main ones. So what we got next? So you could have snapping enabled, but you can also ignore it, and I will show you that. So this is the rectangle, and as you can see, it snaps to the middle. And for this one to ignore, we need to get into the command controller, which is down on this menu. Just here, there's the command controller. And what we need to do, the object has to be in motion like this. Then do the command controller down. And once it's down and they're blue, you'll see it doesn't snap. That is ignore snapping mode, so you can move it freely. Now, why must it be a mission first? Let me show you that. So this rectangle, say it's just still like this, and we enable that command controller now. So down just like it was, blue. As we move it, you'll see it makes a copy. And if we do it again, it'll make another copy, etc. So it's got to be in mission. I'm just going to delete these two. And there we go. So that's how to ignore even when snapping's enabled. Now, this didn't work for me in the live, but those are the custom settings that I use, which we find on the Discord. And I'll just quickly show you in my settings. These are the exact settings that I use, just in case you wanted to do that. Now, other things, we have presets, which are in that red box just there. And if I go to the settings and go to the presets, you'll see there's multiple presets, page layouts with objects, like curve drawing, all sorts of weird stuff. But I'm gonna go back to my custom settings because I like them. I think it was snap to grid. I'm just gonna have to refer to that drawing. 2 seconds. And there we go. Snap to baseline is off. Guides on. Spread on. Let's do those. We'll remember it. Baseline off. Guides on. Snap to spread on. And snap to margins on. Which here we are. Snap to key points and geometry off. With the other ones. Snap to layer bounding boxes on. Just like that. And I think it was this one on, but not the bottom one. Yeah, it is. Force pixel alignment, which we'll talk about later, is all off right now. So make sure these are off, which is this one here. And the tolerance, candidates, that's something. So it's got to be the candidate list, which I'll show you in a sec. The max candidates is 6, tolerance 8. Yeah, that is right. Okay, so we're back to normal. So let's go to the next one, which is spread. This one up here. Now, spread's a funny one because most people would call this grey rectangle here the document. Like, even themselves. So if you go to add a new document, it's called a document. So I don't know why they refer to it as spread in here, but they do. So with that enabled, let me show you what I mean. So this rectangle here will snap to this grey, basically like the artboard of the document. So as I move it, you'll see it snaps to the edge, to the middle, and to the horizontal, like basically everywhere. So that is the spread. And if I go back in and turn it off, you'll see that it no longer snaps to anything. So that is the spread for some reason. They call it spread. Now what's next? Just turn that back on. Make sure it works. Yes. So going back to this one. Candidates is next. So candidates is this section, and you can see there's like a list. I'll go through the options. So you've got immediate layers, children, and all layers. I keep it on candidate list, and we've got it to 6. But if I just take that down to 2, I will show you what it does. So it's on 2 right now. So just go to our colors. There we go. Now we've not selected any of those colors yet, so nothing will snap to nothing. So what we're going to do is select some of these colors. So we're going to select this red one, if it would let us. Yeah, there we go, red. So now the next candidate is the next thing you select. So select this blue, and the next candidate is going to be this green one. Now, red, blue, and green are the candidates, and we've got a maximum of 2. So they won't snap to anything else unless you select it, and then whatever the last one was will get deselected from your candidate list. So let's try this out. So as you can see, the red snaps to the green and the blue, but not to the yellow one. As you can see, there's no lines, etc. But if you try and snap it to the blue or the green, it will. But if I now select blue and yellow, now blue and yellow are the candidates, so now green is knocked off that list. So if I go back to our red, it'll snap to blue, it'll snap to the yellow one, but it won't snap to the green. See what I mean? Because it's not a candidate anymore. And that's the way I prefer it. But I prefer it the last 6, just in case you need to get back to something just slightly previous to what you're doing. But you don't generally want to go back more than 6. So that's why I leave it just there. So that's candidates. Just close this one and go on to the next. Now, this is what I was saying about too many. So you can get confused or confuse the program by selecting too many options at once. So it's trying to snap to everything. So it'll literally be snapping to the margins, to the grid, to the spread, everything. So it'll look like it is not quite working to what you think is going to snap to you, and it tends to snap to something else or not snap at all. That's when you're using too many here at once. So that is usually the problem. So yeah, just go careful with how many you deselect. So let's go on to the next one. Now, node snapping. This is a whole different section. You still have to have the main one, the main snapping enabled, but the things that are in there don't sort of match what the nodes will do, which I'll show you now. So when we come down to our node tool, you'll see a little magnet on this context bar just here. and you can enable and disable the snapping just for nodes. This is a new concept to us. So let's go with the first one, which is actually have none at all. And you'll see we can move this around freely. So anywhere we like, and then we can snap to anything. So if we enable this first one, snap to nodes, it will actually snap to itself. So if you want a dead straight line, it'll snap there. It'll snap there. See what I mean? So that is snapping to nodes. Now, snapping to geometry would actually snap to. Basically, I'll show you. It's like in between nodes, like this bit of the line in the middle. So you've got to have both objects selected for this. So just like this. But then we'll select this particular node, and as we touch it on there, you'll see the yellow line go up and down in the middle of the object, and that is what they call geometry snapping, just like that. So next up is snap all nodes. So let's put that one on, and this is where you can join now. Snap all nodes. Not sure. I have to do some research into that one. I thought this node snapped, but they don't. So the next one is snap handles, which is the cool one. So I'm gonna select the other line, this one, and I'm gonna put on the grid for this. So we come in here and put grid on. Now I'm gonna just snap that exactly to the grid, like so. And I'm gonna make another node here and snap that to the grid. But that particular node that we just selected, I'm gonna make it a curve like this. Now these handles will actually snap to this grid, and you can make the node really perfect. Let me turn it off and show you what I mean. So this is off. As you can see, it won't snap to anything like that. And when this grid is off, it's very difficult to get this to be perfect like it was. It will look like it, but it's not quite. Just trying to make it the same, but you can't. Not unless you're very good at it. So that is snapping to handles to grid. That's what that is. Confused. So the next one we're gonna go to this one, and it's construction snapping. So construction snapping, basically it gives you a little pink line, which I'll show you. You see the little pink line that showed up? That gives you the exact 90-degree. So if I grab the handle and to the same place, that's a complete 90-degree angle there, like a curve. It's perfect, as you can see, and that's what construction snapping does. It's a very you wouldn't use it very often. I can't think of a reason to use it. I'm just gonna put that back on geometry because that's the one I keep it on, and turn off the command controller. You don't need that. So the next one, if it works, Now this is curved snapping. So what do I mean? Let's get these shapes, and you'll see that they snap to the sides and the top, if they would, which they're not. Very random. Why is it not snapping there? Oh yeah, kind of, yeah. So it's snapping to the center there. Basically, they snap to everywhere but here. Like here, these curves to curves. That is not an option for snapping. But you know me, I like my workarounds. So the way I've got around this, if it works, is I select these shapes and convert them to curves. So now you got access to nodes. And what I do is add a node here and here on this one. There we go. Now you gotta have both shapes enabled for this, just like this. But I'm gonna select all the nodes of the shape and then move those two nodes together. And as you can see, it snaps on the curve part. I'm glad that actually worked. So that's the workaround that I find, which tends to work now. Didn't work in the live. Very odd, but at least it worked now. I'm just gonna go back to that one. Take off that one. Yeah, that's cool. And we'll just leave it on there. And what we're gonna do is have a look at this artboard, which is very, very tiny. It's only 4 pixels by 4 pixels. Very tiny. And we're gonna look at we're gonna enable the pixel grid here. So let's put on the pixel grid and go to grid settings and make this a color that you can actually see. So let's make that dark. You should be able to see that now. And as you can see, that square is perfectly in one of these squares. Now, when we go into the snapping options and put on force pixel alone, you'll see as we go to move this rectangle, it will actually snap to the nearest pixel, just like this. If we turn off the force pixel, you can then move it anywhere you like, just this. You could do that with ignore as well if you want. So that is force pixel, and I think that brings us to the end of this lesson. So thank you very much for coming, and I will see you in the next one.